Hello, everyone. This is Each Sense here. I am a consultant, particularly with business and financial consulting. And I'm here to give you guys my overview with what's happening today in the marketplace, particularly the moratorium evictions. So, Congress, they didn't extend the evictions for another month like they usually do. So, what they're doing is, well, they let it expire and evictions essentially start today. Moving forward, I think it's real imperative that people understand how they make a living. And I'm not here to necessarily blame anyone, any single group of people, besides a group of people that live their life on debt. So, what do I mean by this? Okay. You had a lot of tenants. We're going to talk about essentially two groups of people. All right. These particularly two groups of people, but we're going to talk about other groups. But we had plenty of tenants that took advantage of the pandemic and decided, you know what? I don't want to pay. Even though they had a job, even though they had, money coming in from, five-figure earners to low to high earning six-figure individuals. I heard it from plenty of people. All right. Now, on the other hand, all right, we have another group of people, landlords in particular, that seem to feel as though that their business, or not business, but them having housing should be a guarantee. So you hear a lot of, people listening to, the Graham Stevens, the Meet Kevs, the, Grant Cardone, a lot of these individuals, right? And they listen to them and they believe that real estate should just be easy, quick money. That's incorrect. Real estate, at the end of the day, is a business. And if you're going to engage in a profession that is about exchanging money by having an asset of some sort, particularly a house, okay, you are essentially in a business. This is important to know. A lot of people, for some idiotic reason, decided, hey, you know what? I want to continuously acquire more houses, more houses, more houses, and just have other people, ironically, pay to make them a living and essentially go ahead and do whatever they want to do. Here's the problem. All right. Most people are just rent seeking. That's it. That's what it is. People just want to rent seek. And of course, once again, the tenants who don't pay, they're not, absolved from this. However, when you went to the banks, and these people particularly went to these banks and asked for these loans to buy these houses on some sort of mortgage with loan on some fixed percentage, they thought it was all good. Well, pandemic hit, it's not all good, and everyone is screwed. Tenants are blaming landlords, landlords are blaming the tenants and the government, and as well as the government, as the banks, many landlords are trying to blame the banks. Well, here's what we got to do in the future, all right? And I still want to make people focus on the grand scheme of things. We are not going to live in a society like Elysium. I have a lot of people who are constantly always harping about, you know what? I want to live in a wealthy area. I want to live in a, gated community, et cetera, et cetera. And my thing is, okay, well, you could do all those things. It's your right. However, those type of communities, although they exist, sociologically speaking, they're not even positive places to live in. So why do I bring this up? Why do I bring up Elysium, etc.? Because even though you had quote unquote two different groups of people, They still had one society. The difference is that Elysium, although being fictional, is nowhere close to how it is in real life. If you are wealthy, if you are rich, you are still dependent upon other people to make a living. You are dependent on the cook. You are dependent on the landscaper. You are dependent upon the plumber. You're dependent upon your lawyers. You're dependent upon your attorneys, your CPAs, etc., etc. People who typically hold jobs. Now, if we have a society that's all about just accruing individualistic wealth, and I do say individualistic wealth, then you're going to have the problem that we have today. A whole bunch of homeless people coming in, or being, well, yeah, coming in, sorry, and a lot of people who are essentially working poor. And the fact of the matter is, the working poor isn't just people who are, making 20, 30, $40,000, but they're also, a lot of them, making low six figures, working 70, 80, 90, 100 hours. And if that happens, where you have many of these quote unquote prestige upper class professionals working those hours and not getting any pay, you have a collapse of society. Period. There was an article I was reading about a couple weeks, well, I shouldn't say weeks, months ago, about how a lot of white collar professionals are quitting and their livelihoods and lifestyles are extremely stressful. Now, why is that? Because although a lot of these high upper class white collar individuals make, a lot of money, low six figures, middle five figures, middle six figures, they still have a high consumption ratio of their income. If you are a lawyer, you're working, 80, 100-hour weeks, you're getting paid a lot of money. However, after all is said is done, you still got to pay a lot of money because you have a car that you possibly didn't pay off yet. You have a house you possibly didn't pay off yet. And you have a whole bunch of credit cards that you have not paid off because for some reason you're okay with credit card debt. Now, moving on to the future, what's important is a couple things. Number one, we're going to have a re-evaluation of society. But while that's happening, you need to make more money. Period. You may be a landlord who's struggling. You may be a person who's making a living right now and you don't have any income. You need to make more money. And why is that? Because even if this whole crisis solves itself, with people not getting evicted as much, you're still going to have a lot of individuals that will need to have loads, vocal amounts of money and wealth to succeed. And because of this whole situation, the only way for you to have success is for you to accrue wealth. Not just simply money, like I said, but to accrue wealth. So to accrue wealth, you're going to have a business. And if you don't have a business, then you're simply just screwed. That's it. You're just screwed. And if you are screwed, it's going to hamper on your health. It's going to hamper on your physiology. It's going to hamper on your mentality, as well as many other facets in your life. Why? Because the only way you can get ahead in these United States of America is unless you have business wealth. Now, I know some people will say, hey, each sense, can't you become a medical doctor, a lawyer, etc.? What did I say before? If you're in an upper class, high income professional, you're stressed as heck. And if you were to become those particular professions, guess what? Most of them who have a business are going to be the ones that will make the most money. So that is all. That's all I got to say. If you enjoy what I've commented or enjoyed my commentary, don't forget to leave a comment below, like, share, subscribe. More importantly, donate to my Cash App that's on my channel. That is all. Have a nice day.